Allah owes you nothing. Allah owes you nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need your salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need your fasting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need your money. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need your time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need your da'wah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need your bead. Allah Azza wa Jal is free from all, from anything. Allah Azza wa Jal needs nothing and no one. We need Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't be fooled. Don't let shaitan play with your mind. In the authentic hadith, in the hadith Qudsi, Allah Azza wa Jal says, Ya ibadi. Who's Allah Azza wa Jal speaking to? Allah says, Ya ibadi, O my slaves. If the first of you to the last of you, the human of you and the jinn of you, if you were all to come together collectively, all, not some, all of you were to come together collectively to worship me and worship me and worship me until you become like the most pure heart amongst you, this does not increase my greatness in any way, shape or form. And the opposite is true, you little gangster. Ya ibadi, O my slaves, if all of you, the human of you and the jinn of you, if you were all to come together collectively and all of you were to sin, steal, cheat, sell drugs, prostitute, do whatever you desire, you little gangster. Do whatever you think makes you look cool and hectic on the streets. Allah says clearly, if all of you, not some, if all of you were to do it collectively until you become like the most criminal heart amongst you, this doesn't take anything away from my mulk in any way, shape or form. Allah doesn't need anyone. Allah doesn't need anyone. Allah is Al-Malik. Allah is free. Antum al-fuqara ila Allah. You are the destituted ones to Allah. In the authentic hadith, the Prophet of Allah is sitting with Sahaba. He says to them, I see what you don't see, and I hear what you don't hear. He says, أَطَّتِ السَّمَاء وَحُكَّ لَهَا أَن تَئِطْ. He says, the heavens have squeaked, and they have every right to squeak. So Sahaba are amazed. What do you mean, O Prophet of Allah? What do you mean that the heavens have squeaked? What do you mean that the seven heavens have squeaked? Everything we know about astronomy is not even 1% of what's really out there. And our solar system, our galaxy is one of millions and millions that are out there. So the scholar is saying, if we were given 1 second to name every single star that is in our galaxy, you ready for this? You will need 300 trillion years and you wouldn't name every star that is in our galaxy. And all this is in Samawat al-Ula, is in the first heavens. The Prophet of Allah is saying the seven heavens have squeaked and they have every right to squeak. Why? Why, O Prophet of Allah? Why have they squeaked? You know, sometimes you put a lot of weight onto something, so it starts making noise, it starts giving way because it can't carry the load. The Prophet of Allah says the seven heavens can no longer carry the load. The load of what? He says, مَا فِي مَوْضِعَ أَرْبَ أَصَابِعَ. There isn't room in all these heavens for 4 fingers except there is an angel in prostration to Allah. And you think Allah needs your money on the way out, huh? You think Allah cares whether you pray or you don't? There isn't room for 4 fingers in all the heavens except there is an angel in prostration to Allah. Angels, from the moment they're created to the moment they stand before Allah, one continuous sajda. They never did anything else. One continuous sajda for billions of years. Yet when they stand before Allah, they say, oh Allah, forgive us. Forgive us, Ya Allah, for we did not give haqq to your ibadah. We didn't give rights. We didn't worship you the way you should be worshipped. In the hadith Qudsi, in the authentic hadith, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, Ya ibadi, O my slaves, every single one of you is hungry except whom I feed. Every one of you is hungry except whom I feed. Today when you go to buy a meal, you think I bought this meal. No, you're wrong. Allah fed you. So people start looking at their meals and he starts having pride and arrogance. That I don't eat this and I don't eat that. I only eat specific foods. Brother, it's Allah that feeds you. Allah says, oh my slaves, every one of you with the exception of none, every one of you is naked except whom I clothe. For you, Allah will move mountains. The same Allah that split the ocean in half for Musa. The same Allah that split the moon for Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The same Allah that stopped the land from its earthquake when Umar ibn al-Khattab hit it. The same Allah that gave life to the dead for Isa alayhi salatu wassalam. The same Allah that made the river, the Nile River, flow once more is the same Allah that's waiting for your next dua.